Have you read a story in the Draoithe Saga and come away with a classic case of immersion aftereffect? Let me guess, there are questions which remain unanswered even as the magic expanded, adding another layer to the dream. The grand desire to turn the page to discover what happened next ended with the last leaf turned. If you're asking where the remedy for the book Hangover is, you know the answer: read another story. But you aren't ready for the next tale, not yet. The dust needs to settle before you pick up the next volume. So you have found your way here. You aren't alone. Even the author can't get enough. As you hear this, Ophelia Kee writes on. But allow me to offer you a possibility, a reflection on the tale you recently finished, and a way to revisit the story to ease the story blues. Welcome to the Draoithe Saga After Party. Warning, spoiler alerts ahead. Turn back now if you wish to read the story blind.
Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to taste source material, dig into it, and pull out those key bits of knowledge. Our goal, to get you well-informed, fast, and maybe spark a few aha moments.
Exactly.
Today, we're diving into something pretty cool. The world of paranormal romance and urban fantasy. Specifically, we're looking at Ophelia Kee's Stained Ink.
Right, and how it connects to her much bigger Draoithe Saga.
So our mission today is really to unpack how this one short story, Stained Ink, gives us a real window into this huge magical universe she's built.
Yeah, we'll look at the characters, the unique problems they have, and how this little story really shows off the bigger themes of the whole saga.
Yeah, and it's such a great way in, isn't it? I mean, just imagine a simple letter causing this literal tear-stained moment that suddenly opens up this whole new understanding between two immortal beings.
That's the hook.
That's where we'll start pulling back the curtain on Stained Ink.
Okay, but first, let's set the scene a bit for you. Stained Ink happens inside Ophelia Kee's bigger fantasy world. She calls it the dream.
The dream.
Okay.
And this isn't just, a dream. It's like a real place where myths, legends, fairy tales, they're all walking around. And often these beings find balance with a life mate.
A life mate. So like a soulmate, but maybe more integral to this magical world.
Exactly. Preordained, crucial for their connection to the magic itself. It's woven with things you'd recognize, fantastical elements, but with a fresh modern feel.
And the Draoithe Saga itself, the author calls it a long story of heroic achievement. It sounds epic. Almost medieval.
It has that scope, yeah.
Yeah.
It tells the story of how an immortal kingdom gets founded in a place called the
Soindeel Cottage.
Which you'd probably pronounce Sayandile. It's basically a hidden realm set up to fight these forces that are messing with the magic in the dream.
Okay.
And this huge story unfolds to the eyes of different couples, focusing on their personal journeys and how they find hope by connecting with Draoithe.
That's actually a really smart way to tell a big story through these, smaller, intimate tales. Makes it relatable.
And the time frame. It's around the year 016X.
Okay.
That's interesting. Future, alternate timeline.
It's deliberately ambiguous, adds to the magical realist feel, and a lot of it is set in Tyler, Texas, but a version that's eerily familiar yet magical realist.
Right, a Texas with maybe more shifters and vampires than usual.
You could say that. And eventually, other kingdoms get involved, working with the main group, the Druid Pack, to fight this figure, Heater Elliot, and fix the magic.
And you even get cameos and overlapping scenes.
Yeah.
You can see the same event from different points of view.
Yeah, it adds a lot of depth. It's this blend of genres, too. The author calls it steamy, hot, wickedly delicious paranormal romance, magical realism, and urban fantasy.
Okay, so definitely not for kids.
No, it explicitly says adult themes, fantasy violence, and or explicit sexual situations. Sets the expectation right away for the kind of stories you're getting into.
All right, so we've got the big picture, this sprawling Draoithe saga. Let's zoom back into Stained Ink now. You said it really captures the saga's essence.
It does, beautifully. It's flash fiction inspired by those darker old European fairy tales. And it just drops you right in. A hesitant, immortal couple.
Right.
Having to deal with the same kind of relationship stuff young couples face today.
Which raises that question, doesn't it? What happens when you take totally normal relationship issues, fear of commitment, not knowing where you stand, and then you add immortality and hidden identities?
Exactly. How does being, say, a vampire or a shifter complicate things like, are we serious? Or, are you leaving me?
Okay, so who are our main characters here?
We have Megan. She's a vampire, works as a nurse. And Alex, he's described as a hot young lawyer, but he's also a bear shifter.
A vampire nurse and a bear shifter lawyer.
They've been roommates for a long time, and they're struggling, as hidden immortals in the Domhain, that's the human world, just trying to figure things out.
Trying to live normal lives while hiding these massive secrets.
Pretty much. And the story kicks off with something so simple, but the impact is huge. Megan finds an open job offer letter for Alex from a law firm out of state. And she immediately jumps to the conclusion.
He's leaving.
He's leaving her.
Okay, so that's the spark. How does that discovery actually, ignite the main conflict for her? What does it reveal about her, specifically as a vampire?
Well, this is where the author cleverly uses the supernatural. It's not just flavor. Megan's reaction isn't just sadness, it's visceral. Her tears literally fall like heavy raindrops, making this bloody wet stain on the letter.
Stained ink, the title.
Exactly. And in that moment, she realizes the ink, the stain, it's like a physical manifestation of her fear of losing him. Her immortality doesn't make her immune to this stuff. If anything, it makes the fear of abandonment feel deeper. Centuries deep, maybe.
So it triggers this whole existential crisis, the description says, about her life, her worth. Especially feeling unworthy maybe for a virile shifter like Alex.
Right, and there's that mention of her being a soulless one. That's a common trope for vampires in this world, apparently. A real source of pain and insecurity for her.
Yeah.
Adds another layer to why she thinks he might leave.
Wow. Okay, so she's spiraling. But then there's a twist.
There is. Alex walks in, totally clueless about her inner meltdown. He's just grinning, super excited.
Oblivious. Classic.
Completely. And he blurts out his news. They want to make me a junior partner. They want me on the team.
Wait, so the offer wasn't for out of state, it was for here.
Exactly. Right. He's not leaving, he's staying. He got a promotion right there. The tension just poof, gone.
Oh man. The relief she must feel.
Huge relief. And his reaction when he presumably sees she's upset or senses her anxiety is perfect. He just wraps her in this big bear hug. Literally, he's a bear shifter. And says something like,
what does he say?
Stop overthinking. I'm staying because I want to be with you, silly. This is the best place for us. You're the woman I've always wanted. I can wait for you best right here next to you.
Oh, okay. So it's almost like a rom-com beat, but with, fangs and claws underneath.
Kinda, yeah. All that immortal angst undone by just talking, clear communication. Who knew?
So what's the takeaway for Megan then? This huge misunderstanding leads her to realize.
It leads to her new realization, as the text puts it, that Alex means far more to her than she'd previously believed. Those stained ink words that caused all the panic, they just fade away.
So it pushes them out of the friend zone, potentially. Sets them up for something more.
Absolutely. It lines up perfectly with that big theme in the saga, fated mates. This crisis might be the catalyst they needed.
Fated mates. That concept seems pretty central to the whole Draoithe Saga, right?
Oh, definitely. It's a major driving force. And we see another little glimpse of it, actually, in a sneak peek provided for a different story, The Last Train Whistle.
Okay, what happens there?
It introduces two new characters, Kyle and Vivian, and the scene is just this really poignant farewell at a train station.
Separation, always tough.
Right. Kyle's trying to just memorize everything about Vivian, her green coat, her auburn hair. It's sad, and you feel his longing for the mate bond.
And there's a supernatural element, too.
Yeah, she's secretly a raven shifter, adds this layer of hidden identity to their emotional struggle. And she promises him, every day, twice a day, 1,000 times she'll call.
Wow. So even in separation, that fated pair connection is intense. It shows how the supernatural parts are woven right into their deepest emotions.
Exactly. It's not just tacked on, it shapes their desires, their challenges.
Okay, so if people are listening and thinking, wow, this dream world sounds compelling, how can they dive deeper? You mentioned the author, Ophelia Kee, has ways for readers to engage.
Yeah, she definitely encourages interaction. First off, she asks readers to leave honest reviews, which, is huge for indie authors, helps other people find the books, find the dream.
Standard practice, but always good to remind people. What else?
Well, she has newsletter friends. If you sign up, you get behind-the-scenes stuff, exclusive offers, sneak peeks, maybe even free stories sometimes.
Nice perks. And then for the really dedicated fans, there's a subscription service called Read the Draoithe Saga. Gives you early access to books, AI-narrated audio versions, character art, glossaries, lexicons, she calls them graphics, videos, the whole package.
Wow, okay, so multiple levels of engagement, and presumably her website is the main place for all this.
OpheliaKee.com, yeah, that's the hub. And the list of titles there is extensive. Kingdom Rising, Vampire Knight, Dark Curse. lots more. It's a big universe.
It really sounds like it. But maybe one of the most intriguing parts of all this is the author herself. About the author section for Ophelia Kee is, well, it's something else.
Oh yeah. What does it say?
Get this. Not who everyone thinks she is. The product of someone's imagination. The end result of a lifetime wishing to get out. Do not buy the lie. If you live in fear, you give up freedom. It goes on like that.
Whoa.
Taking the risk and making the leap. Too much of anything is a bad thing. Innuendo floating on mist, rising above water. Walk away and leave it all behind. Telling the story that haunts a fantasy. Catching a dream. She does not exist. She does not exist. Okay, that's not your typical author bio.
Not at all. It completely blurs the line between the creator and the creation, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It almost suggests the author herself is part of the dream, or maybe a character from it.
Or playing with the idea of authorship itself. It really echoes that magical realism in her stories, making you question identity and reality right there on the author page. Very meta.
Very meta. So wrapping this up, what's the big takeaway for you, for the listener? Our deep dive into Stained Ink.
Well, it showed us how one really intense personal moment, that tear-stained letter, can be the turning point for an immortal relationship.
Right, all set within this huge magical world. Fated mates, hidden identities, the works.
And it blends those modern anxieties we all feel in relationships with these ancient mythical beings. It shows that even, vampires and shifters worry about commitment and communication.
Their powers don't make them immune to basic humans, or maybe being emotions.
Not at all. Fear of loss, struggling to say I love you, deciding to really commit to someone. The fantasy elements just amplify those feelings, make them feel even more critical.
And then there's the author herself. That mysterious presence really caps it off, challenging how we even think about who's telling the story.
Which leaves us with a really interesting question to ponder, doesn't it? If storytelling creates worlds and characters like this,
Yeah.
how does the identity or the claimed lack of identity of the storyteller affect the magic? What does it really mean for the whole experience when the author herself says she does not exist?
That is a fascinating thought to chew on. Does the mystery enhance the magic? Does it change how we read the story?
Something for you to think about.
Definitely. Well, we hope this deep dive into Ophelia Kee's Stained Ink and the wider Draoithe Saga has given you a good shortcut to understanding this really rich, fantastical world.
Hope you found it useful.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for your support. For more, visit opheliakee.com. Welcome to the dream. Sincerely. Okay.